Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and welcome back to the Friday Night Live with your host Asif Hussain, also known as Abu Musa for those of you on social media. I hope that you're all well, brothers and sisters. Let me give you a quick flavour and a kind of quick intro into the whole show. This is the Friday Night Live, as I said to you. I'm your host Asif Hussain, also known as Abu Musa on social media. My platform, for those of you that are familiar with, my apologies for repeating this. For those of you that are new, I have quite a mixed bag for my show. I generally try to introduce the show with a quick catch up of my week, what's been going on, what interesting events have taken place in my life, etc., etc. From there, I generally move to any of the news and views that have taken place this week, any interesting articles that I've come across, any news stories that have hit the news, any issues that I feel I've encountered through the week or I've come across through social media, through interaction, through a meeting, general community. So that is the first kind of like, segment of the show. Second segment of the show is I normally will go into a discussion point. So there may be something that I picked up this week and I think that is worth discussing. It could be anything from a social point of view, that how do we build relationships within the community, how to maintain relationship with your sibling, with your wife, with your work colleagues, how to maintain the Islamic ethos. So that's a variety of things that I try to include there. And then from there, generally what I'll do is I might go into another discussion, which is I have another segment called the Hadith of the Day, and here we can sort of like just address a particular hadith and just discuss around the hadith based upon some of the commentary that we've read, or our understanding of the hadith based on the narrations, and just bring some light to that discussion so we can link it to today's reality and say, right, this hadith is in this context and this is how it affects me and this is how it affects my life. So that is another element to the show. And they also, moving from there, I like to bring in a bit of fitness and training in there. And again, with fitness and training, it could be any issue that I raise, or it could be something related to nutrition, it could be something related to your training, it could be something to do with your fitness. So there's a variety of things there that I try to envelope in this show. So I'm hoping that I can connect with as many people as possible who may find something appealing about this show. And my kind of thinking was that if I make it only on one format, that I'll only appeal to a certain audience, and rather I would prefer to have a wider audience that I can appeal to, as opposed to just specific groups of people that might be interested in what I have to say. So inshallah ta'ala, that is the precedence of the show. As I may also add as well, that a lot of the discussions and ideas that we bring forward do come from an Islamic basis. That's the premise of the show. So I want to convey Islam in a very holistic and comprehensive manner, and you can appreciate that. Look, Islam is not just something that we do on a ritualistic basis, but it's something that can be incorporated and implemented in our life, in every element of our life. And that's the whole point of this discussion. So moving forward with this, I just want to have a quick catch up, because it's going nearly 25 past 6 now, so time's kind of moving very quickly. And I just wanted to quickly give you a quick insight into my week. I've had a couple of interesting things this week taking place. Last Sunday, I like to organise a certain get together with the males, or the males of our family. And what I find is that I try to encourage my father and his generation of relatives that we have, my generation of cousins, and my children, and we try to organise a particular day and a venue and a place to go visit. And this Sunday we went out to Buxton in the Peak District in Derbyshire. It was a great day, nice to catch up. And I was having this discussion with some of my relatives, and the importance of maintaining this relationship, because we generally have a very busy schedule, all of us. And what you will find is most of the time is that we're only able to interact on certain occasions. So it may be a wedding, it may be a funeral that you attend and you catch up with your cousins, or it may be a rare visit that you make to someone's house for some reason. So this was something to change the norm and to break away from the norm. So to build these ties and relationships in a different context. So my children can carry this idea and develop that, and going forward they can have that kind of link with their relatives and cousins. And inshallah, this is the kind of outlook that I have to this, and that's why it's important that. Sneha, come in if you feel that you want to make a comment on that. I know a few times the females in the household have raised this issue with me and said, look, Asif, you're always organising things with the brothers. Why don't you organize something with everyone here? Inshallah, that is something that we will endeavor to do. And my response is always that, look, you guys are more than competent and capable of coordinating something like this. Then why don't you get together and do something? I mean, it gets thrown back in my face to organize it.
No,
and make
it
it happen.
doesn't.
Why is that, Selena?
It doesn't. I think, alhamdulillah, I think, you set a really good example. And what you do, me and Lila and Saf, we always say, it's the fact that you take that initiative to coordinate and organise, such events. Obviously, you know that I'm not a driver, so that kind of restricts my getting out and about.
But you've got drive, Selena, so you don't have to physically drive.
I've got drive, but I don't actually drive, unfortunately, due to reasons. But obviously, alhamdulillah, I think it's a really good initiative. And obviously with, Abid, my husband and my son Adam, obviously we live out of town. So I think, obviously with my two brother-in-laws who are your, cousins as well, I think they always, do bring it up, and it's like he says, it's that opportunity for you guys to bond, to build your relationships. And unfortunately, we live at such a time where everyone is busy in their lives.
Absolutely.
And obviously, the fact that you live out of town, I know obviously these past 2 weeks that I've been at Mum's, it's been really nice because it's been nice to catch up with family, just to spend time with Mum and Dad as well, and with the grandparents. Simple things sometimes that people might take for granted, but when you're away from them, you kind of appreciate them more. So alhamdulillah, I think it's a good initiative.
Absolutely. So those of you that are watching and listening, those of you that are tuned into this show, and those of you that I'll be posting up on Facebook, inshallah, look at your own realities, look at your own families, and ask yourself the question that can more be done. Can you actually develop these relations? Remember, these are the ties that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam speaks about, the ties of the womb, the blood ties, the blood relations that you have. This is something that there's a rahmah, there's a mercy in this relationship. So, when we don't harness this relationship, when we don't nurture this relationship, we sometimes lose out on certain elements of comfort that we have within our own families that we don't access, because we don't know on a day-to-day basis what each of us goes through. We don't know what our realities are like. But what I experienced through this outing was that I realized and I took away that, some of the relatives, they want this interaction. They need this interaction because, we're all in different positions in our life. And, one person's burden is another person's kind of pleasure. I don't know if that's an appropriate term to use, but, one person's difficulty is somebody else's kind of ease. So, if we can help in some way, we can raise standards and we can set the agenda, then that's the kind of thing that needs to come out of this. And if it's a fun day out where you're able to let your hair down, you're able to sort of be amongst your brethren, see them in a very different kind of light, and really build that relationship on it. And you know what, there's nothing like it. I mean, alhamdulillah, to see, my cousins, my brothers, my sons all mixing together, forming relationships. My father, it's a very unique thing. And I think, and I urge everyone and anyone listening to this that, do something unique, do something special. It could be going out, organizing a game of cricket, football. It could be going out to a theme park, going out, whatever it is, but coordinate something with your families. Make something happen.
Can I just add, it's not always about the quantity of time that you spend, it's about the quality of the time that you spend, because some families are privileged enough to live near one another and might see each other, on a daily basis, but it's about sometimes breaking the norm and doing something different atmosphere, different environment, just different setting.
Absolutely, and I couldn't put that. My mother, and it's a very rare thing sometimes that I get this opportunity to take my mother out, and I took it upon myself. I thought, it's important that I actually have this time